Hey guys, what's going on today? Hope you all are having a good day. Today I was going through my tackle box, after last weekend, when you're fishing, you just kind of throw stuff back in your tackle bag and go on. So I was going through it this evening and I came across my Wacky Rig tool. And if you're not familiar with these or the Wacky Rig tool in general, I highly recommend you check this style out. And in this video I'm going to be teaching you some tips and tricks on how to wacky rig properly, in my mind. Wacky rigging is when you have a worm. Let me get this other one. You have a worm and you fold it in half, and then right in the middle is where you put your hook. You put your hook right through the center of the worm, just like that, right in the middle, and you just pass it through. And what's great about the Wacky Rig is it gives the lure an action that the Texas rig or the Carolina rig can't compete with. It gives it like a flutter action, and when you use longer worms, the motion is more dominant. You know what I mean? So that's the Wacky Rig right there. But the bad thing about it is that you're just passing it through the worm. So if a fish comes up and bites the worm but it doesn't fully engulf the hook and everything, your worm is just gonna rip right off. It's soft, it's soft plastic, and then your lure is toast. So to save money and to get away from that, they came up with the Wacky Rig tool, and it has these little O-rings stored at the bottom. And all you do is you grab one. Instead of searching for them, they're already right there. They're kind of tight. And you just grab one and you start running it up this cone shape all the way up towards the top. And inside, it's hollow. It goes all the way down. And you get the worm that you're wanting to wacky rig. Say you're wanting to wacky rig this big old pink bubblegum worm. You try to find the center of the worm, kind of mark it with your thumb a little bit there, and you get your Wacky Rig and you just pass it through. You pass it all the way down to where you have your little mark, and you just work this little gasket over and just let it snap on. And once it snaps on, it's right there in the center of the worm. And now what you can go ahead and do is you can grab your hook, your desired hook, whichever one you may like, and you just pass it through that. You pass it right through that O-ring, and that sucker is tough. I mean, it's basically just like a rubber band. I mean, that sucker is not gonna rip off. So it's gonna last for like 5, 10, 15 fish. It's gonna last you a lot longer. So you're gonna save money, and you won't spend so much time putting on worm after worm after worm. But the bad thing about using these offset shank hooks is that when you put it through, the hook is exposed, and it's horrible for snags. If you're fishing in cover or real rocky areas, it's horrible for snags. So they have these hooks. I found these at Academy. They are these little, they just look like a little circle hook, and it's got this little weed guard on there, this little metal weed guard. And I believe the box, when it said Wacky Rig hook, so it's designed just for this rig. So all you do is just pass it through how you did your other one. You put your weed guard over it, and then bam, you have a weedless Wacky Rig right there. So when you're throwing it, you're pitching it and cover right when the bass are wanting to ambush. I mean, that's the perfect setup right there. The snags are gonna go right over your hook, and it just makes for a whole lot better. Everyone hates when they get snagged. It sure does piss me the hell off. So the Wacky Rig is a great rig, but that right there is a weightless Senko rig, weightless Wacky Rig, because there's no weight to this hook. So this worm is going to flutter down, and believe me, it flutters down like every 5 seconds. It barely goes like a foot. So it has this very slow little wavy descent, which is great. You're pitching in 3 or 4 foot of water around brush. That kind of presentation is really awesome. But if you're fishing in 10, 15 foot, you're trying to reach a brush pile down there, you can wait there all day for this to reach the bottom. So what's great is these little jig head hooks. got the weight on the top. That's really good. I mean, you pass this through a little O-ring there, and then now you got some weight to your setup. But again, you have your hook is exposed, so you know you're able for snags. But I have these in my tackle box. I couldn't find them, but they make these jig heads where they have a weed guard as well, and it makes it weedless. So all you'd have to do is get those, and you would be in the same setup as you were with this small hook, but you have an added weight. So if you're fishing deeper water, it would get down there a whole lot faster, and you're able to work it back to the boat or back to the bank a whole lot faster than having to wait for that sucker to slowly descend. So the Wacky Rig is a great rig. It's one of my favorite rigs to throw. You know, don't get me wrong, the Texas rig, you know, the Carolina rig, those are some badass rigs too. But some days that's not the presentation they're wanting. You know, all y'all bass fishermen know the color, the presentation. I mean, it's all about figuring out the pattern, what the fish want. And I mean, you can throw that Texas rig all day long, the Carolina rig all day long, and that's not what they're wanting. You throw this Wacky Rig and boom, I mean, they start biting it one after another. So it's all about figuring out the pattern. So this Wacky Rig tool would be a great tool in your arsenal in your tackle box. You know what I mean? It doesn't take long. You pass your worm down, the gasket up, and I mean, bam, you're set. So I hope I've helped y'all, you know, with the whole Wacky Rig. I've talked to a few fishermen, you know, how do you like the Wacky Rig? And they'll be like, what the hell is a Wacky Rig? And so I wanted to put this on my channel to where, you know, hey, go check my video out on my channel about the Wacky Rig. You know, it's a great rig. It's been around for a while, but it's kind of one of those rigs kind of in the shadows. You know, mainly everybody knows the Texas rig and the Carolina rig and all that jazz. But, you know, the Wacky Rig's working herself up there, you know what I mean? And like I said, I just wanted to put this video out there for y'all. It's all about getting people into fishing. You know, fishing with family, fishing by yourself. You know, it's very therapeutic. So it's all about getting out there in the outdoors and enjoying fishing. But I appreciate y'all tuning in for this video. If y'all could please hit the like button and subscribe. I'm always trying to come up with new ideas, you know, new videos for y'all, tips and tricks. And if y'all have anything to add to this, feel free to leave a comment down below. Anything that y'all are able to teach me, I'm willing to learn. Anything that I could add to my tackle box and my knowledge of fishing is great. But like I said, thanks y'all for tuning in, and we'll see you all on the next one.